It works better that
Sounds
way.
good.
Yeah.
It does. I need to put lotion down here because my arm's really dry.
I mean, you just need to lotion up.
Well, I've been much better at it.
Good.
But it's
especially
still...
with tattoos. I know, I feel that. And during the summer, I always get really dry. I know.
Well, this part of my tattoo, like, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but it like bubbled up.
Yeah, it's one area on her, and it's been
just in the purple.
I would say it's been like that for
That's weird.
3 months.
Yeah, but it's definitely gotten better since I started lotioning and using.
Wasn't it
like
Vegas? Would it
yeah,
start?
Vegas fucked my shit up.
Yeah, it's when we did the WLS event. It was like protruding.
It was so dry.
Yeah.
There.
Oh, it's so dry.
And we were not prepared for it.
Oh, I supplied 3 women with lotion that weekend because they did not prepare, and I bring like lotion all the time.
We just got our blood work done.
Yeah, we did.
And our doctors asked us, what are we doing to have such great blood work?
Yeah. And you know what we told them?
ProCare!
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we told them, like, yeah, we take ProCare every day because they have a multivitamin that you can just take one a day.
Yes, exactly. They have a capsule and a chewable form. And not only do they have vitamins, but they also have calcium chews.
Oh my God, they're so good.
They're so delicious. It's like our own little sweet treat for the end of the night.
It really is, because they have the dark chocolate and they have the cinnamon roll.
Yes, and I love the salted caramel and the dinner mint.
Alrighty, we'll go to procarenow.com
and use code OSLP at checkout to save some money. You guys ask us all the time, what is our favorite protein powder?
Yeah, literally, we see this question every day.
And the answer is always
Devotion! Yeah. Oh my goodness. I even use it this morning to make my own sweet treat for nighttime because it's just a brownie batter pudding. And you literally just use 1 scoop and then milk or water.
And then I use it every morning in my coffee. It's so delicious. Oh my God. I want one right now thinking of it.
Seriously, it's 20 grams of protein. So go get yours now at devotionnutrition.com.
And use code OSLP to save some money. Okay, trying to figure out portion sizes after weight loss surgery is fucking hard.
So hard. So freaking hard.
So we found this company and they take the guesswork out of it.
Yeah, my goodness, guys. Look, it's portion perfection. They have bowls and plates and they have all sorts of organizing things on their website. I can't wait to get more. But it literally tells you 1 cup, 1.5 cup, 1/4 of a cup. Like, the guesswork is completely gone.
Yes. And the plate, even better. Protein, salad, veggies, whatever. And then this little section, carbs. So, because you can have carbs.
You can have carbs.
We are so excited and we cannot wait to see what you guys think of this. This is definitely OSLP approved.
100%. So the link is down below. So click that link, get your discount, and start getting your portions correctly now. Well, thanks to this lady over here, I know that hot tea is so much better after surgery. Oh my goodness.
Yes, it makes the liquids go down so much easier.
So much smoother.
And we are so excited that we found this badass woman-owned tea company.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So exciting. Their tagline is actually, we fucking love tea.
Yes.
And what better describes us?
Seriously, everything's organic. Like they're all loose leaf. And this one is called literally You're Fucking Awesome.
Yes.
And the back of it says fucking directions. So this is our kind of people. They talk like us, they act like us, and we fucking love tea.
Yes. And this one is rad as fuck. And it actually says, shine your light bright, Mel. They make sure that it is personalized to you when you order.
Yeah.
Be bold, be bright, be badass. You are so fucking rad. You light up this world.
How cool.
How could you not want to drink this tea?
Seriously.
It's so fun.
And they have a straw for your drink. Pretty wicked because it's loose leaf, but the straw does not make any of the leaves come up.
Exactly. And we have been nonstop drinking this tea since we got it.
Yes.
So we need you guys to go over and go to their website, modestmix.com.
That's right.
And order your tea. Don't forget to use our code oursleevedlife20 to get a percentage off.
That's right. Go now.
Welcome back, OSLP family. Welcome. You are listening to Our Sleeved Life Podcast presents The Tiny Tummy Tales. This is Kelly.
This is Mel.
And that's right. This is the first episode in the Tiny Tummy Tales new category, new subcategory. I don't know what it's called, but We have renamed.
Yes, we've rebranded our sub-series.
Yes. So it is no longer the Bariatric Diaries. It is now the Tiny Tummy Tales.
Yes. So much more fun.
Yes. But first, we want to have you all go over to oursleevedlifepodcast.com and get your freaking tickets for the award show.
Yes, get your tickets, get your newsletters. They're going to be going out. It's going to be so much fun.
Yes.
And they're $80, and then you get to hang out with us. You get a swag bag. You get to have your picture taken on a pink carpet.
Yes, and that is in November. It is November 12th, and it is in our backyard.
It is. It's the Aladdin Theater, guys.
In Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
So
very cool.
You get to come out here. We've announced presenters so far. So we have Nolani with Own Bariatrics.
Yes.
We have Jamie, the sleep dietitian. We have Dr. Eric Smith, who is the surgeon for the 1,000-Pound Sisters on TLC. Like, freaking crazy. We love him. He is full of information.
So much information.
We have more presenters rolling out. So keep an eye on the Just Be You Bariatric Award Show Instagram page.
And our stories.
And our stories, because we are getting them out there.
That's right.
We have some fantastic sponsors. First of all, ProCare.
ProCare.
We love ProCare. We use it every day.
Every single day.
And we absolutely adore just the whole company.
Yes.
So they are our top sponsor. We're so excited that they signed on.
Seriously, thank you, ProCare.
Yes. And then we have Jamie, the sleep dietitian, the Tribe membership program. We have her as another sponsor. We're so excited.
And Nolani. Sorry, Nolani. With the Own Bariatrics. So she's a personal coach.
Yes. And then we have Tabitha, who is the real Berry boss. We have loved her since day one.
And she's a bariatric therapist.
Yes.
What I kind of like about our theme, it's a little bit different.
It is.
All sorts of people that are helping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Eric Smith worked for Georgetown Surgical.
Yes.
And they are going to be a sponsor also.
And then Dr. Joe.
And Heather and Marty. Yes. So their whole office is also being a sponsor. So we're so blessed by everybody that is so supportive of this show.
Helpful.
So if you have not gotten your ticket, go and get your ticket right now. We have hotel information on the website. You click the link, go over, you get a discount with it. So they are waiving all the extra fees. You still have to pay the taxes, but all the fees are taken
really
off.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So every little bit helps.
Yeah.
And then voting starts August 1st. Like it is right around the corner.
Away.
I can't even believe it. I was like, do we really have to wait a month to do the voting? Yes, we do. Because it is insane trying to get it all.
Preparation is a lot harder than you would think.
It is. But we need all of your guys' help to go over and vote on August 1st. Don't forget to get your ticket. Also, while you're on our page, just hop over to patreon.com/OSLP. Sign up to be a patron. Right. If you do $7 or higher, you get to be a part of our Benchies support group.
The best support group in the world.
Yes, because you guys, if you've listened to us at any amount of time, we don't like Facebook support groups because some of them are very toxic, negative. You get awful advice in them.
Some of the weirdest advice ever.
Like don't eat fruit. Yeah, because fruit made us fat. It couldn't have been the Oreos.
It couldn't have been the habits that I've totally learned over the 1,000 years I've been here.
Exactly. The 1,000 years.
Yeah.
We're gonna go with that.
Yeah.
So make sure that you go over there and become in our support group, because that support group is so welcoming, so positive. I mean, even when people are having a bad day or having a hard time, it's still the positivity that outpours from the other members is just incredible.
Well, and if you're watching this and it's a Tiny Tummy Tales, one of them is our Benchies.
She is.
She's a part of the Benchies.
She is.
So that's what's kind of cool. Is we already we got to know about her well before the even us in the casting call.
Yes,
so
we did.
Now she gets to be a part of this.
Yes.
So if you guys want to watch what we're about to do and see her and see our beautiful faces, you need to go to YouTube right freaking now. Just type in our Life Podcast. We're the only ones.
Yes.
And then subscribe and hit the bell. It means more to us than it means to you.
And it's free.
And it's free. That's a free way to support us.
Yes.
So thank you.
Well, let's introduce our first Tiny Tummy Tales.
Yeah.
We're so excited for this. We've been looking forward to this for so long. But with everything that happened with Eric, it just really pushed everything out. So we're excited to be back into the rhythm of getting our Tiny Tummy Tales on record.
I know. Being released. So, Kia, welcome.
Hi.
There we
Thank
go.
you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being a part of it. We saw your casting call video and like it was an immediate yes.
It was.
Because you know how to talk. And that's like the first thing is like, okay, can they talk?
Yes.
And you can.
Yeah, you went straight to the yes category. We're like, okay.
Yes.
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 It's
for
good
sure.
to know my degree in theater has helped me for something. It's
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Perfect.
you definitely know how to talk, and that's number one for podcasts. You have to talk, which is one of the reasons why I said yes when Mel asked me in the very, very beginning of this. Is we all know I can talk.
You can.
So
Totally can. Yeah, it's super great. So, can you kind of tell us about yourself? Like, what's going on with you? How did you, like, what's your why, I guess?
yeah,
right?
let's even go back further
Okay.
and like when did you start noticing that your weight was an issue?
Oh God. I mean, so a little bit about me. Like I said, I went to school for musical theater. I have been acting since I was 6, singing, performing, dancing, and I've never been naturally slim. And I've been doing ballet for 12 years. Well, I mean,
Wow.
not currently, but like I did ballet for 12 years. You know, my family runs to busty. We're Italian, we're curvy, we're, you know, robust humans.
I feel you, girl.
You know, and in Hollywood, I was a size 6 and I'm 5'7". So you could see my ribs, and I
Yeah.
was being told I needed to lose 20 pounds. I would go on
Whoa.
casting calls and I would be told, you know, I went on a casting call for a Disney, what's it called? One of the bands that they have at Disneyland, like on the
Oh,
stages,
okay.
you know, and it was, they did like covers of pop hits, and
Okay.
legitimately they straight up told me, you are by far the best vocalist we've had here today. You can totally mimic, you know, all of the different pop styles, but you need to lose 20 pounds. So we can't hire you.
Whoa.
Disney.
So
I'm
I mean,
disappointed.
this was a subcontractor. And this was
Okay.
also in the 90s,
Okay. Yeah.
early 2000, late 90s, early 2000s. So like
Okay.
back when like Jessica Simpson, when she was like a size 8, was considered fat. You remember? Like we went through a bad
Yeah.
time there for a minute.
We did,
Mhm.
yes.
You know, it's
As-
much more inclusive
as
now.
society.
I'm 110% sure that if I was auditioning now, I would not have that problem.
Okay.
But you know, I've moved on to that part of my life because I have some friends who work at Disney. I actually have worked there as an Imagineer at this point. Actually, I make costumes for the animatronics.
Whoa.
Oh my
So,
God.
It's really cool. Yeah,
That
that's
is
kind of what
really
I segued
cool.
into. So it all worked out. I'm actually really happy doing what I'm doing. But like
Okay.
the trying to act thing made me feel so horrible about my body. And at a size 6, where you could see my ribs, I was being told I was fat. I was doing ballet. I was a size 6. You could see my ribs. I was being told I was fat. My whole life, I have thought I was overweight. And then there came a point for me where I just kind of stopped caring, because like it's like I couldn't be good enough.
Yeah.
And I couldn't, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't do what everybody who I was trying to please wanted me to do. So like I was like, well, if I gain 15 pounds, what the fuck does it matter?
Yeah.
And combine that with I'm non-binary, which is for people who aren't aware, it's when you are not you're not literally a woman, you're not really a man, you're kind of somewhere in the middle. Our culture doesn't really have a great history with that, like in our social structure, but like many other cultures actually have really great descriptions for people who are outside the binary for genders. There's you know, there's Two-Spirit with a lot of the Native Americans. There are many others that I have not educated myself on, my bad, but they exist through society. And part of that is I never really felt comfortable in the body of like I've always had a super curvaceous, like Jessica Rabbit-y kind of body. I've got giant boobs, and I'm really looking forward to that post-surgery reduction. I'm telling you what, right now. But so part of it too was that I didn't feel like I could ever look the way I wanted to look. And so also, when you don't feel like you can look the way you want to look for any reason, for physical, for like, you know, I just want to be pretty, which is fine too, or like for gender reasons or for anything, can sometimes just, like I said, not care. Like I can't look the way I want to look to get hired for the things I want to do. Like I'm not good enough for that. And I can't be who I want to be for that. So what does it matter? You know, and combine that with my ADHD and, you know, sensory eating and not feeding yourself during the day and only eating at night, and just really bad habits started piling up. And, you know, so it really started creeping up in college. You know, that's always a tough time for everybody to lose and gain weight. But
What do they
and then
say?
it
It's
just kind
like
of
a
got worse.
20-pound gain typically.
Yeah, but I think about a 20-pound gain when you start college.
Yeah.
And that was definitely the case for me. And then, you know, I became a gym rat for a while and I lost it. And then I bounced back and then I lost it. And I did Lindora and I did Weight Watchers and I did everything. Everything, you know, you try everything, you yo-yo diet, you buy into diet culture. And then I just stopped and then reached a critical mass. I got to a point where I wasn't happy anymore and I was having physical symptoms, and that was more my problem. I'd always had acid reflux, and it got worse and worse the heavier I got. So that was finally what sent me. Yeah, exactly. And every GI doctor that I talked to was like, well, if you lost weight, it would help. And I'm like,
yeah. You're like, help me lose weight.
Yeah. I mean, I can feel you on that. I had GERD for years, and that was like, and those who don't know what GERD is, it's literally like you feel like you're having a heart attack, and it's intense pain and you don't know how to make it stop. Over the years, I got into a rhythm of like, when I started to feel the pain, I knew what to do. But I remember my ex, I was on the ground, just like in the fetal position. I couldn't move. Jesus. And I had him call the ER. Yeah. Because I was like, I don't know what's going on right now. I feel like I'm having a heart attack, but I know I'm not. But it was like, what is this?
Well, yeah, but you can't just sit there. Like, how long do you sit until you're like, hey, this needs to stop?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, so I feel you on that. I feel it.
Oh, man.
I legitimately went to the ER once because between my anxiety and then the GERD symptoms, I was convinced I was having a heart attack or some sort of event. So I 100% feel you.
We're on the same page.
So that was really my why. I had a lot of stigma about weight loss surgery. I had everything that you guys are fighting to go against, I had.
I had it too.
So did I.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, so I went to my GI doctor, and I had actually, I'd done some research on my own, and I'd found a surgery called the Nissan Duplication. And it's where they take a little bit of your stomach and they like wrap it around your esophagus, and it's supposed to be like a cure for, it's wild, but it strengthens the sphincter at the bottom of your esophagus, and it makes it so you can't reflux anymore. So I'm like, okay, everything I looked up looked pretty good. So I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and I used UCLA for everything. So of course I was going to go to the UCLA bariatrics program. They were a really easy, all encompassing kind of situation. So I went to their bariatrics program, and I'm like, hey, I want to get this procedure done. And I didn't like try to get scheduled with the head of bariatrics. That's just how it worked out for me. And he changed my life. Like, and because I came in asking for this surgery, and having been stigmatized by medical professionals for so long for being overweight, I was ready to get you just need to lose weight talk, or I was ready to get what you actually need is, I was kind of steeled against it. And so I told him what I wanted, and he said, you don't want that. And he's like, and here's why. And he sat me down and he talked to me. We probably had a 45-minute session.
Oh, nice.
Like, the head of bariatrics sat down, his name is Dr. Dutson. He's like an angel among men. I love him. And he wears plaid pants, like he has swag.
I love it.
But so he walks in and he's like, okay, well, here's why you don't want the fundiplication. And he told me that especially on people above BMI of 30, it has a very high failure rate. And the failure rate isn't just it not working. For some people, the failure rate can be catastrophic, where it actually damages other things. And I didn't even find out. I didn't even know at the time. I'd been dating my partner for like 3 years, and I didn't even know at the time that their sister has a ton of GI issues. So I was in and out of the hospital. Part of that is because she had a fundiplication, and she's skinny, and it had a critical failure, and it actually severed part of her vagus nerve. And so like I don't know exactly where, but like some of her organs are partially paralyzed because of it. And she has all of these GI issues. And that's something that can happen and has a much higher rate of happening with people that are over a 30 BMI.
Okay.
So he explained all of this to me and then said, what you really want is a gastric bypass.
Okay.
And I was like, no, I don't want weight loss surgery. I don't want it. Everyone I know who's had weight loss surgery has gained it back. Everybody's had a ton of issues. Like I'm not looking for that. And he's like, well, let me talk to you about it. And so he told me about why specifically for GERD, he didn't address the weight issue. He didn't shame me for needing to lose weight. He didn't once say I needed to lose weight. He wasn't like shamey or weird about it at all. And he's like, here's why you want it. It tethers the stomach down and makes it so it's much harder to reflux. He's like, and it in the, you know, a big portion of the stomach that's creating that bile isn't attached to your esophagus anymore. It's attached further down. And so it can't reflux back up. And he said, you know, even in thin people, we do this for extreme cases of GERD that can't be fixed another way. Like this is something we will do to people of any size because it is one of the cures for GERD.
Wow.
And he's like, it is gold standard. And I would do, if you were my sister sitting here, I would tell you the same thing.
Wow.
And
all right.
And so we were planning to move to North Carolina, which we did. We moved from Los Angeles to North Carolina a month after surgery, which was a whole situation. And at that point, we were actually planning on moving quite a bit sooner. But after talking to him, I asked the timeline because I figured with the duplication, I could get it scheduled in like a month. We could do it before I got done and then out. But with the bypass, as you guys know, there's all the insurance things and you know all the hoops you have to jump through, and it takes months. And we were able to expedite it to only 3 months. Between my insurance and their program, and them knowing kind of my situation. They really worked with me. It was incredible. But at the time, I'm like, well, we're moving. Like, I can't stick with you if it's going to take that long. So I left the office and went home. And I talked to, here's another TLDR about me. I'm polyamorous. I have a husband and a partner. We all live together. We raise our daughter together. My partner is he, him. My husband is he, him. My partner is non-binary. So if you hear me say he, him, husband, they, them, partner. Yeah, I'll use names too. It'll get a little confusing. Feel free to ask, but I know it's a lot. So I went home and I was discussing it with my husband and my partner, and we had to get a lot of work done on the house that we were buying. There was a black mold issue. We had to rip out one of the bathrooms, and you know, and we had the ability to just wait a little bit if we had to. We know we were working remotely at the time. We were still in the pandemic. Everything was, you know, so it was, and he said, you know, so my husband looked at me, he's like, do we just wait so you can do this with the team that you now like trust? Like you feel good about these people. This guy clearly cares. He took the time to talk to you. Do we wait? And so we pushed our move back for 3 months so that I could get my surgery with the UCLA crew.
That is so cool.
That's awesome. It's good that when you find an office that you really connect with and can feel comfortable with to get this surgery, because like you're going in with already all these stigmas in your brain.
Lord. Yeah.
And so that changed just by meeting that office. And that doesn't always happen.
No.
You know, sometimes you go into a really bad office and those stigmas totally stay in place.
Right. They're
but
reinforced.
But the fact that he like broke those stigmas for you, I would do the same thing. I think I would.
I'd be like, can we find a way, please?
We'll just stay for 3 months.
I felt like I was being a crazy person for like changing so much of what we had planned as a family to do this. But looking back and being 3 months out from it now, it was the best decision because I had really from start to finish an incredible time with them. And like you said, we just clicked. It worked. It was what I needed.
Yes.
So
I love that. So you decided to push your move back. You did the insurance. So when did you have your surgery?
I had my surgery the end of March, March 28th.
Okay.
So,
and how did that go?
It went great. I was so nervous. I've never had any sort of major surgery before. The only sort of major surgery, I had a cyst removed on my tailbone, and wisdom teeth removed, nothing, right?
Nothing,
So I'd never had major surgery before. I was so nervous. Like I was doing the same thing I see everybody posting about, like, what if I die? Like, am I making the worst decision? One of my high school friends was an anesthesiologist, and I have to give big props to her because she was like, you're going to be fine. I do this every day. You're going to be fine. Like, and her father had actually had the bypass as well. So she was like, you're fine. And so it was really good to have somebody I knew who was not in like, you know, that program telling me that it was okay. And but yeah, so I went in and I was super nervous, but they were all really nice, and they gave me the really good stuff beforehand to make me nice and relaxed.
This is my favorite part.
I was like, oh, this is good.
Yes.
And then I don't even remember them putting me out. I did have a little bit of trouble like waking back up from the anesthesia, but I'm not sure if it was the anesthesia or the fact that I hadn't thought to tell them that I get really nauseated with opioids. And I knew they were going to put me on a morphine button, but I didn't think about the fact that they were going to have an automatic drip.
That's new.
And so I was getting nauseated at certain like intervals, and I didn't even realize why until day 2.
Okay.
Like I was getting like dry heaving level nauseated, like really bad.
Wow.
And so, but when I figured it out and had them take that off, I was fine.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah. I had a little, I heard another person on your show talk about this, and I just want to reiterate, I had trouble peeing at first.
Oh,
and I had to like make myself pee. Yes. And once I made myself pee like twice, I was fine. Like my body got the picture, and we made it happen from there on. But the first 2 times were rough, and the nurses were like, hey, you haven't really been peeing enough. That's a problem. And I'm like, oh, okay, on it. Because I did not want to be like the person on I think it was one of your guests who like had to stay an extra few days because she couldn't pee.
Who was that?
And I can't remember her name. I can picture her though, because I had a problem peeing. It took me a little bit. So I remember that conversation because I was like, oh, there's we're gonna have to put the catheter back, and I'm like, no, please don't. I will pee. Just give me all the things.
Yeah, listening to her story made me realize that I had to like make this happen. So like super appreciate that. And yeah, I didn't have a lot of pain, but I have a very high pain tolerance. Okay. So don't anybody take that as gospel. I'm always the person who's like, that doesn't hurt, and everybody else is like, you're crazy.
Yep. I'm the same way.
I had an IUD inserted, and they're like, everybody's like, it's the worst thing ever, and I'm like, meh.
It's there. And I think it's not comfortable. It's not like your favorite thing to do, but you're like, it's fine.
Oh, I had that thing put in and then removed within days. It was so painful.
Really?
No.
I was like, no. I'm sure I would have been like,
I was like, nope, just walking around, I can feel the damn thing. So we're just like not doing it. That's why we're like,
it settles.
On.
I didn't get a period for 5 years.
Nice.
I still don't have a period.
Yeah.
At all. Oh, I'm fine with it.
Well,
I'm good.
I don't think, you're not. I think
that's awesome.
PCOS though.
I'm pretty sure I have a giant issue because I'm pretty sure I have PCOS and ADHD, but I'm not like diagnosed
yet. Yeah.
Twinsies.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure I have PCOS. My partner has it, and I had no idea a lot of the things that were symptoms of PCOS until I was dating somebody who was diagnosed with it. And they have it very extreme, and they have the opposite. They have very, very heavy flow. Whereas I like next to nothing.
Yeah, no, I haven't had one in probably 5 years.
Oh, damn.
Which
maybe 7.
Thank goodness for my dietitian warning me that the hormones can make your flow a lot heavier, because I would have been shocked.
Oh, yeah.
Because all of a sudden I went from next to nothing to like super heavy flow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I had 1 period right after surgery, and I was like, what? I have my period's back. This is fucked. I don't want a period. And then it was like 3 days of like the lightest thing ever, and then it just never came back.
Oh, fuck you. Yep. Mine are horrible.
Yep.
Mine are so bad.
No periods.
Like when they said it was going to affect my period, I was like, I don't want it to. It's already enough.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. Because I had a girlfriend when I worked at Wells Fargo, she would have a period for almost 3 weeks.
Oh,
it was like the reverse.
Yeah, no.
And so you could tell she really did have PCOS, because it's like she's had 1 week off. And I was like, and she'd be so pale and so bad.
Ugh, no.
Yeah.
No,
Poor girl.
but I'm also infertile, so
Yeah.
that could have something to do with it too.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So, but it's nice because I don't have to worry about a period every
It's true.
month.
You don't.
So
Yeah.
I mean,
there's that.
but did you have like the liquid diet or anything prior?
I so I they weren't going to put me on it, and then when because I was a relatively low BMI to start. Like I've had problems with my weight and it was affecting my health, but I was like 38, 37, which is low for bypass. It's not low for sleep, but it's low for bypass.
Yeah.
So we had to find other comorbidities to make my insurance. We found out that I had sleep apnea, so that worked out. And then with the GERD was enough to let them approve me.
Nice.
But they weren't going to put me on the liquid diet because my BMI was so low. But when I went in for my last office visit, I was on my period and I was bloated up like 4 pounds, even more than like the day before. You know how that happens.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, your number's up, so we're going to put you on liquid diet. I'm like, it's my period. No, it's just my period.
Oh, man.
So did you do it for 2 weeks, 1 week?
I did it for like a week and a half.
Okay.
I knew to do it for 2 weeks. I should have probably done it for 2 weeks, but I did it for a week and a half. So here we are. I don't recommend anybody else not do what I did. Don't follow my instructions. But they also had it wasn't a pure liquid, which was nice. They did 2 shakes, like 2 snacks, and like a protein and veggie meal. Anytime a day. So it was nice. It was very doable.
Yeah.
And honestly, with my ADHD, even before the surgery, I would often use like Huel or something as a meal replacement because it's just hard for me to feed myself sometimes. So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't great. I didn't love it.
That sounds exactly like me.
Yeah.
Because I have a really hard time feeding myself during the day, unless I'm like focused, but I'll eat at night. I'll eat all night long.
Mm-hmm.
But during the day, like that's why I do the coffee in the morning, because it's like, I'm giving myself some nutrients during the day. But
yeah,
it sounds
just
that
mine.
sounds exactly like me. So yeah. So
I've heard you talk a lot, and that's very common for ADHD people. I feel a lot of kinship with a lot of what you say because I've gone through a lot of it myself, and I've been diagnosed with ADHD since I was a kid. So
all right.
Yeah.
And I'm in the process of getting diagnosed. So the person that I'm talking to, he wants to treat my sleep first, then treat my anxiety and my depression, and then go into if it's ADHD. He's like, I'm not saying you don't have it, but I want to address these things first and then go into ADHD.
I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but I am somebody who has lived with ADHD and I do a lot of ADHD like advocacy, especially in like my friend group, and and so one thing that is very common is that ADHD actually causes anxiety and depression.
Yes.
So treating the anxiety and depression first actually can be a little counterintuitive, because if you treat the ADHD, you are removing the cause for a lot of that anxiety and depression. And like, you still have to then deal with like the triggers that you built in with yourself and the bad habits and like the mental, the mental loops that you've kind of built in. But for me, I had panic attacks ranging from once a week to sometimes multiples a day, and going on Adderall and treating my ADHD, which I didn't do till I was an adult, took that away. I'm no longer on my anti-anxiety medications. I no longer have panic attacks. And treating the ADHD and taking the thing that was causing that anxiety out of my life fixed it. So your mileage may vary, work with your doctor and see, but like, if it doesn't work, just know that that's also a possibility.
Okay. Yeah. And he said, he was like, it's sometimes ADHD can cause the anxiety, and sometimes it can be the anxiety is just presenting itself as ADHD sometimes too. So he's like, it can go back and forth. So that's why he wants to do the anxiety and depression first. Fair. Which, I was like, it's not the answer I wanted, because I wanted him to be like, yes, you have ADHD. Let's put you on something and like help your life. But that wasn't what I got, which is fine. It is what it is. And I'm like, I've lived with it for this long. Yeah, I'll get there. It's a process. Yeah. And he's like, I want you to try this for 3 months, and then it's going to be a process. But I also think the therapy has helped me tremendously. Like, I'm no longer eating in the middle of the night. Yeah. Like, no longer eating in the middle of the night. Yeah. That's been a thing since my ex left. So very big. So anyways,
Good.
back to you.
I have a question about this morphine drip.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
'Cause we didn't have that. I haven't
No.
really met anybody that has. So is that like a common thing that you noticed like that they do there, or did you feel like you even needed it? Like,
I don't think I needed it.
Okay.
But again, pain tolerance. When you've
Yeah.
had chronic pain, I've had GERD since my, my early 20s. And it's,
Okay.
when you've had chronic pain like that, like you said, you just kind of,
You just deal with it.
yeah.
yeah. So, I didn't find the pain to be like, I was fine with just Tylenol.
Okay.
So I didn't need it, but, clearly it's what they do,
Okay.
there, cause it was just standard.
Okay.
Now I know, and I'll just make sure that I, tell them not to do that because the opioids just make me so sick. But for other
Yeah.
people, it might be wonderful, frankly.
Yeah.
That, other
Yeah.
people who are more pain sensitive, that might be a real godsend.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Well, and I learned with my broken leg that the morphine doesn't even work for me.
Ah,
Like I just get high and I feel everything.
yeah.
And they maxed
Oh,
me out of
no.
oxy, they maxed me out of morphine. I was puking in a bag because it was all too much. Like I feel everything.
Yeah.
I feel the whole thing.
Oh,
I remember telling my mom, like, I would rather have Dylan 10 times in this fucking pain. And they were just
Yeah.
like, we just gave her so many meds.
Yeah. Just the
Oh,
wrong
no.
one.
Just the wrong
The
one.
wrong combination of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
So after surgery,
Mhm.
how, because I always like to talk about the foods that people choose to eat. And I
Yeah.
know you had a huge move while you
Ugh.
were right after surgery. So being on a like not cross country, but pretty much cross
Pretty
country,
much.
right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What did you do for your food? Like,
So one of the best things I did for myself, period, hands down, was I hired a private dietitian,
oh,
a private bariatric dietitian. I actually, you guys have talked to her. I hired Helen,
oh
Uh,
yeah, we
bariatric
love her.
nutritionist on Instagram. Helen is,
Yes.
I don't know where I would be right now if I hadn't had her support through this process.
Aw.
Like even if I hadn't moved cross country, her support would have been absolutely invaluable. But add the stress of moving cross country on top of it, and the fact that our move was an absolute disaster for other reasons. The actual trip cross country was great, but
Yeah.
everything that happened around it on both sides was rough. So
Oh,
I never had to worry about food. I never had to worry about what I should be eating, how much I should be eating. I never had to worry about any of that because I had her in my back pocket. And and she's so responsive. I could text her, and she totally held my hand through the most crucial part of it. And I'm still working with her. But
Nice.
I feel like I am in a really solid place right now because I had that intensive help. And frankly, because I had you guys to listen to. But
Aw.
yeah, no, it
Well,
was
we
very
know
helpful.
We know with Helen, she said that people would call her even when they're at like dinners,
yeah,
or
Oh,
they
yeah.
would send her like the
the menu.
the menu, and
Yeah.
she would go through it with them.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
did
yeah.
you have some stuff like that with her?
Yeah, I would be at the store and I'm like, which one of these is better, or is this okay? Or I found these when I started eating solids again, I found these carb balance. I think they're called street taco,
Oh yeah, yeah,
whatever tortillas, and
Yeah.
they're great. And I sent her a text of those and 3 other tortillas. I'm like, which one
Yeah.
of these is best? And she would help
Yeah.
me with stuff like that. Because
Oh,
there's
that's
there's
awesome.
a lot of options out there, and it can be kind of overwhelming.
Oh my
Yes.
God, me and Zach were just at the store last night and getting stuff because this is a whole thing for me. I don't know why, but I feel uncomfortable buying food that I know I should be eating and bringing it into his house. I'm getting there, but it's just I feel uncomfortable doing it.
Oh,
Now
yeah,
that
okay,
I'm
that makes sense.
Yeah. So now that I'm moving in, I feel I'm getting there, closer. But we were at the store and I was he was buying tortillas and they buy regular tortillas. And I was I feel like I need to be more carb conscious because I bring in not great carbs into my life. So I'd like to be more conscious of that.
Balance it. But
Yeah. So there was 3 different ones that were carb conscious. And I'm what do I do? I'm 3 years out, I should know. But I'm still looking at the back, and I'm okay, and then what's this one? Okay, all right, this one's prettier. I don't know. I was going through this whole it was probably a good 5 minutes that I'm standing there looking at tortillas, and
It does
Zach's
not surprise me.
come on, let's go. I don't feel like this is an issue. This shouldn't be an issue, but it was. So I picked the ones that you just mentioned, and so I'm gonna try.
I like them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, they're good.
Okay.
I toast them a little bit on the burner.
Ah,
You know,
okay. Yeah.
I just toast them a little bit to get a little, you know, because otherwise I can find they're a little soggy,
Oh,
kind
okay.
of sometimes. But if you toast them up, they're nice. You know,
Okay.
is it a
Nice.
flour tortilla? No, but is it good? Yeah, it's good.
Okay. I feel like you
Offensive.
can. It's doable.
It's
Dealable.
doable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I want them for like wraps.
Mhm.
So like I
Yes.
can just throw like meat and
Mhm.
cheese in there, which I'm gonna squirrel moment for a second because we all know how much I love cheese. We know how much Zach loves cheese.
Yeah.
So we tried, it's like a Longhorn cheddar
Okay.
last
Ooh.
night. We got it at Fred Meyer and we're like, okay, let's try half a pound, you know, just to try it. This is the best goddamn cheddar cheese I've ever had in my life.
Oh.
I am so excited to go home and like make a wrap
Yeah.
and eat it because I'm like, this is fucking bomb.
This is bomb.
Yeah, so I had to
That's
squirrel because
awesome.
I want to
yes.
try that because I like
You would
to
love
find
it.
a better cheddar.
It's got like a little bit of a bite to it, but it's very mild flavor with just like on the back end. It's like there's
I
a
like
little bit
that.
of bite.
Okay.
So
That sounds good.
when you come over, you'll have to try it
I will.
because we were already planning like going and getting more. So
Nerd.
You know it's
Yeah,
good when you're
nerd.
already planning to get more.
exactly.
From when you had surgery to when you moved, how long time was
Yeah.
that? Like, what's the time frame?
It was 4.5 weeks. So
Okay.
I was just transitioning. I was on, so the first, you asked me the food question and we got sidetracked talking about
No,
Helen.
you're fine.
Who's
You're
great. But it was 4.5 weeks. I was just transitioning into like, I was on soft foods and literally the second day cross country, I was able to start solids.
Okay.
So
Oh.
I packed, I found I'm very sensitive to most artificial sweeteners. Like if it has like aspartame or sucralose or like most of the ones that are used in like, I can't. I can taste it. It makes me
Yep.
gag. It's a personal thing. Everybody, I have a hyperactive sense of smell, and I think it has to do with that. I think it's kind of like a super taster situation.
Uh-huh.
But I found, thanks to a friend of mine who actually had bypass, who I didn't even know until I announced to my friends that I was having bypass, and he's like, "Oh, me too," and I'm like, "Oh shit, cool." Oh, sorry, can I swear?
Yes, yes, you
Okay,
can.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've already said fuck numerous times on here.
And you want to be like, can I say shit?
You're totally fine. Yeah, I love it.
I'm like a
Yes.
sailor. I'm so sorry. My daughter, I just have to be like, honey, there are words we don't use at school, okay?
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah,
do too.
yeah.
It works.
The
It works.
worst.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so he told me about monk fruit, which I'd never heard of.
Yes.
And he's like, why don't you try it? And I'm like, another fake sweetener I'm going to hate. But I'm like, whatever, at this point, I might as well try it. Yeah, legit. It is the only thing that I can use that doesn't have a really bad aftertaste for me. So I found a lot of really great monk fruit based protein products that I've been using. There's a boba tea protein that
I
I'm
saw that.
legitimately obsessed with, like
Okay.
obsessed. And then there's these protein donuts and protein pancakes by a company called like Proto Bake Shop. And they're so good. And you can like mix up a batch and it makes 6. And especially for us bariatric patients, 1 is like enough. And it's like 25 grams of protein.
Nice.
So yeah, they're really good. And it's like, I like, they're between like 190 to like 220 calories and like 20 to 25 grams of protein. So like, it's a great like snack or a portable meal. And again, with my ADHD, I can't always fix myself something. I don't have that like power to do that all the time. So I can just grab it in the fridge. It makes 6. So I have it for most of the week. And so I've kind of been living on those now, but like at the time, I was on soft foods. So I had just kind of planned for cross country. I didn't know what my stomach was going to handle, like actual food wise.
Yeah.
And so I took enough Fairlife shakes with me to just get myself through if I want to do just Fairlife shakes and Starbucks egg bites, because I've been eating Starbucks egg bites on the soft food and I knew that was going to work out for me. I'm like, I can live for 5 days on Fairlife shakes and Starbucks egg bites.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, we've done it. Yes.
We have.
Totally do it.
Yeah, those egg bites, man, they're legit.
I mean, if I could have them every day, I would.
Yeah.
I mean,
I was surprised actually that you didn't tell me to bring them today.
I mean, it should be in the contract every time we do.
The contract?
The contract.
We don't have a contract
No, we
between
don't.
us ourselves, so no, we're not putting that in the
Oh my
contract.
god. That will be whenever we have like the studios we go to.
Yes.
It'll be Kelly's Profi and Mel's.
Yeah, it has to be in front where we record.
Easy peasy.
Yes.
Put that in my rider. I need Starbucks egg bites, and I need Fairlife protein, and I need devotion on site.
Yes, devotion definitely on site. I was just gonna say that. So what else did you find that like while you were traveling that you could tolerate?
Well, so we were leaving the West Coast, and it was my first time being able to have solid food. I'm like, God, In-N-Out. I'm not gonna have In-N-Out for so long.
Yeah.
And so actually my first solid food was an In-N-Out burger protein style. And it was fine. And I didn't have any trouble really, which is funny because I actually have trouble with beef now, but I think that everything in the beginning felt like it was like lumpy and kind of like there. It just kind of felt like it was like, beef just kind of feels like it sits really heavy in my pouch and just doesn't it feels like a pressure, whereas most other things don't at this point. But I think everything felt like that then. So because it was also new.
Zach I had that too. Because Zach had bypass and he can't do he can do hamburger,
but not steak.
But he can't do steak because it just so it just sits there. So it could just be a bypass thing. Also.
Yeah, it totally could be.
So anyways, go ahead.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
But so I had 3/4 of a single In-N-Out protein style cheeseburger, and it was one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth in that moment. After I have textural issues with food, and I can't do pureed meats, and I have meat has to have a certain texture for me, and so the puree section. Though Helen gave me the best recipe for this Chinese egg custard. It's this super super smooth custard. It's almost it's almost like it's like a pudding, except it's savory. You put a little bit of sesame oil on it, a little bit of soy sauce, some salt. Oh, it was so good.
Oh.
So I had that and baked and refried beans, and the ricotta bake was good, especially because I haven't been able to have red sauce for years because of my GERD, and I'm Italian, so the ricotta bake was having a little piece of home almost, for the first time in so long.
That's nice.
But those are the only things I could really tolerate were eggs and then that stuff. So because I just cannot stomach the softer cured meats. And I don't like canned meats. I don't like tuna. I have a lot of sense and taste aversions, which can come with ADHD and possibly autism. I might be, but I don't know. That's my not diagnosed possible.
Good to know. I'm not the only one that does that.
No, absolutely not. That's a very neurodivergent thing. That's a very ADHD autistic thing to do, is be am I weird? Because normal people don't spend a lot of time trying to decide if they're weird or not. But we do.
That is true. I do. I definitely do on a daily basis.
I'm I'm goofy as fuck. And I just keep going. I'm
and I'm did that come off weird? Did that come off weird? That might have come off weird. And then it's 2 hours later and I'm still thinking did that come off weird? Am I weird? Yeah.
Story of my life. Yeah. 100%.
I'm starting to think more and more that I'm ADHD.
Seriously.
We can talk. We can chat.
All right. Sounds good.
But and then Helen had warned me that a lot of people have trouble with chicken breast.
Yes.
But I had done some saute slow cooked chicken thighs at that point and been fine. And then at one point during the period, I don't remember what happened, but I was in a situation where I was stuck, and the only thing I really had was a slow cooked chicken breast. And I'm well, I'm just gonna give it a shot, and I chopped it really, really fine, and I was okay.
Yeah. Okay. I was fine too.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
So one of the things I had across country was we got chicken fingers at a place. And I just peeled the breading off,
Okay.
Because it was just something that you don't have a lot of options when you're driving across the country. And we didn't, we had our dogs and our snakes and all of my plants, because I'm a crazy plant person. And so we had them all in the car with us. So we weren't really stopping at restaurants. You know? So it was all fast food or convenience food, or places like Chipotle or whatever. So I didn't have a ton of options. So but I had no problems with a chicken finger with the breading peeled off. So that was fine. And,
good.
Yeah. And a lot of Gatorade Zero.
Nice. Yeah, I know. I never liked chicken breast even before surgery. But then after surgery, I definitely didn't like chicken breasts. So I just stick with chicken thighs.
That's fair.
Because
So
it's
good.
Yeah, it's just better overall flavor wise for me.
Yeah.
And especially in the beginning, you're not eating enough for it to really make a difference whether it's a chicken breast or a chicken thigh. So in my opinion, I'm not a dietitian.
And this whole like dark meat versus white meat shit, it's like at the end of the day,
Chicken's chicken, right?
Does it really, really hurt you? Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's the fucking soda you just had, you know?
Or the
like,
like Oreos.
or the fucking pie. Like,
yeah.
Or the big
really,
pile of potatoes.
Yeah,
that you ate
it's
a little piece of chicken thigh.
Leah, let's not
Yeah.
argue over a chicken thigh versus a chicken breast. It's
Well,
fucking
and it's the
chicken.
whole thing of like, you shouldn't be eating fruit. Like, it's not the fruit.
Oh my God.
It's
No.
the cookies that you have in the middle of the
Yes.
night
Yeah.
that's affecting you. It's not the banana. Like, let's be real. I think that's where it comes down to, because I'm going to get on my soapbox for a second, because I think people are like, I've gained weight and I don't know why. Well, no, you do know why.
You do know why.
You do, because if you're eating fruit and protein and you're being completely 100% on plan, which nobody's perfect. No, I'm not
No.
saying you need to be, but be honest with yourself. And when like people are making posts about like, I don't know why I've gained weight. Well, let's be honest. Yes, you do. Are you drinking your calories? Are you drinking soda again? Are you getting cookies
Are you
in?
even
Are you
moving?
eating snacks in?
Yeah.
Like, but a lot of most of the time, it's the food that you're eating.
Well, yeah, because 80% is food. Is
Yeah.
just like, it's funny because we hear that all the time, and then we'll message like the same thing, like
Yeah.
check your water, food,
Yeah.
protein, whatever.
Are you getting protein? Are you
Yeah.
getting your
And
water?
they're
Are
like,
you moving?
oh, I haven't exercised in like 3 months.
Well, there you go.
There you
If
go.
you're not moving your body, you're not gonna.
Like you're not gaining anything, but you're out of stall because you
Yeah.
put yourself there.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
still have to move to lose.
100%.
That's the
I'm just
deal.
saying that the majority of the time,
Yeah.
like I know for me especially, it was the fact that I stopped moving
Mhm.
and I was eating shit.
Yep.
Like I was literally like and I wasn't ready to be honest with myself either. So I get it, but you have to be honest with yourself and say, yeah, I've had Oreos every night this week.
Yeah,
so that could be why I'm
Mhm.
stalled.
Like this is on me.
Or I'm only getting 30 grams of protein a day. So, well, your system's going into starvation mode because you're not giving it what it needs to be
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah, it's like you have to hit some sort of a couple of the points for
Yeah.
everything to work.
Or I've drank alcohol 3 nights this week. Well, there you go.
Oh yeah.
There's
it
a
stalls
reason.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of alcohol, how long do you have to go without alcohol? Because I know every surgeon's office is different.
I think it's 6 months.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna lie, I've had a sip or two. Like if I
Yeah.
want to like taste like the flavor of something that like one of my
Yeah.
partners is having, like, but I haven't like had it. I took a sip of their cider and got tipsy. I was floored. Like a sip. Like I'm not like joking. It was a sip. And I got tipsy. I was like, oh my God.
You're like,
Because I've heard with the bypass, you get drunk fast. And
Yep.
I used to be able to drink like whiskey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a sip of cider. It was,
Yep.
oh boy.
Oh boy.
There's sometimes where it was like that in the beginning, where I would take 1 shot of tequila and I'd be like, good.
Like,
And then
Woo.
there's other nights where it's like I can have 6 shots of tequila and I'm like, nothing's going on over here. All right, I'm just gonna stop.
were there other rules that they put on you at all?
Yeah. 3 months, no caffeine, no carbonation.
Oh, 3 months. Okay.
Yeah. So I just started caffeine still. I found that I can do the caffeine in tea, but the
Okay.
caffeine in coffee still gives me some acid. So I'm either not ready for that or will never be able to have it, which is fine. I love coffee, but I've had
Yeah.
decaf for years because of my GERD. And sometimes because of the GERD, I wasn't even able to have decaf. Like sometimes even that was too much. Like when I was
Wow.
having a flare or a bad, oh, it was really bad. I was on like mega meds for years. It still broke through. I had one of the things that led me to actually have surgery was I had reflux so bad that my esophagus got like swollen, and I only could have liquids for like a month at a time while I was healing. Like no, it was like that happened twice during the pandemic, and that was actually what finally led me to look to get surgery. It was really bad.
Because it destroys your esophagus.
Yeah.
If you let it go too long. Yeah.
And can give me cancer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
legitimately, I am keeping myself from like potential health issues down in the future. Like, but yeah. So no I just started carbonation again, and I do well with it, which is great because I'm like addicted to like LaCroix.
Yep, that's me.
That is Kelly all the way.
I actually just bought a Soda Stream machine last
So
night.
you did.
Those are
I
so
did.
good.
I did end up getting one because I'm buying like 2 or 3 cases of seltzer water a week because I just like plain seltzer water.
Yeah, me too.
And I was just like constantly buying it, and I'm like, I can just make it with the water.
Yep.
Like,
You can.
come on, I'm just gonna break down. I got it. It was on sale.
Nice.
So it was $50 off.
Oh, that's even better.
So I was like, okay, fine.
Well, and now you'll
And you
always
can
have
add your
it.
own syrups and flavorings and stuff too. Like you can add your own like lemon juice and like lime juice, or I'm experimenting with. So before the surgery, because of my GERD, I had to stop drinking.
Okay.
And I love a cocktail, not just necessarily to drink, but like I love like just like I love that balance of like herbal and bitter. Like I like bitter flavors, and I really like the kind of experience of a cocktail that kind of
Without the alcohol.
Yeah. And so I found this really cool product called Seedlip, and it's like it's a distilled spirit, but it's non-alcoholic, and it's distilled from like botanicals. And so it has a lot of those like botanical, like herby, bitter overtones.
Nice.
And my partner loves to mix drinks. And so they were mixing up that with like some sparkling water and usually some sort of a flavored syrup. Like they would make like lavender simple syrup or whatever.
Okay.
So I'm going to start experimenting now that I can have carbonation again.
Yay.
I'm going to start experimenting with making bariatric friendly versions. So like taking monk fruit with don't know how to pronounce that.
Erythritol. I'm almost there. Anyways,
I'm not.
Nope. Yeah.
Whatever that is. Theoretically, it acts like sugar. So we're gonna play with it and see if we can make syrups with it, and then I can have bariatric friendly mocktails.
That's cool.
But then they really do have a very satisfying cocktail feel to them. So you don't feel like you're missing out when other friends are drinking too.
Yes.
So we'll see.
Sure.
We'll see how that goes.
That's great.
I'll post it on my Insta if they work out. I promise.
Yeah, tag us in it because I'm kind of interested in that.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Because that's fun. Like you're taking something that you used to do and still using it in post-op life.
Yes.
So it's good. Yes, it's good. So like, what's some NSVs that you've gone through for those last couple months?
Oh, there's been like a lot. Okay, so when we first got here, first of all, I've replaced my wardrobe like twice at this point. It's wild how fast this happens.
Yes.
Holy cow.
Yes.
I'm down 60 pounds.
Damn.
Wow. Yeah, I was not expecting it. And to be fair, I've been moving a lot. And even before I started working out, like when I was cleared to work out, I actually waited a little while after I was cleared to work out because we were moving. And thankfully I was cleared because they actually cleared me a little early.
I was going to say
cleared until 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
To work out. But she cleared me at 4 because I was just healing really well.
Okay.
And she could tell I was like listening to my body. And I say my surgeon's assistant does a lot of the post-op visits.
Okay.
And she's amazing, and she's very knowledgeable. And so she cleared me. Yeah, she cleared me at 4 weeks, which was good because I had to lift boxes because I had not been. I was very good about that. And I mean, I made my partner and my husband do all the lifting. When we were packing, I would pack a box and then they would move it, and then I would pack a box.
There you go.
Yes.
Teamwork, man.
Love it.
Yeah.
So I did not want a hernia. I did not want to have another surgery. You know what I mean? I was very serious about it. So they cleared me at 4 weeks. So I started lifting like moderately heavy boxes, but I waited till like 6-8 weeks before I really started like lifting things. But our move was a mess. Our movers got there before we did, which we were promised wasn't going to happen. And so things were all in the wrong spots. And this is a 2-story house, and we were previously in a 1-story house, and we have a giant long sloped driveway. And our neighbors at the bottom of the driveway have twins that my daughter loves to play with. So we're always up and down that driveway. So I've been moving just a ton, even before I started working out. So I think that really does have to do with like how quickly I've been losing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Helen also tells me I'm very hard on myself with eating right. So that's probably part of it too. But
I think
But
that's a
good
common
thing.
thing, and it's
Yeah.
a good thing
Yeah.
throughout, like especially in the beginning, because you're not sure where to go. So you're like,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I'm doing everything correctly.
Yep.
And then as
exactly.
you get further on, then you're like, no, I've got a handle on this. Like
Mhm.
I know what I should be eating. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty common.
But so non-scale victories. I've already I had a bunch of clothes that I had saved for God knows why. They were like 10 years old.
Yeah.
And like I had a box of these clothes, and I was like, why do I even still have these? But like, thank goodness, because we were, when I got here and we were about a month and some change out, and my clothes weren't fitting anymore. And I'm like, we just moved. I don't have time to go clothes shopping. Like, what am I gonna do? I don't even know what size I am right now. I can't just order on Amazon. Like, what am I? And so I opened up that box of old clothes. Like, that's the second or third week here, and most of it fit me.
Nice.
And so that was a huge non-scale victory. That was some of the stuff I hadn't worn since college.
Oh, wow.
That was insane. So it was really cool. And then a lot of that stuff I've shrunk out of and had to buy new clothes again. Which is also a non-scale victory. That was like, wow.
Yes.
So I went into Target. I had to get shorts. It is hot and humid here, and I'm not used to the humidity. I like it, but my body's not quite used to it. So I'm like, I need to wear as little as possible.
Yes.
So I went to Target to get a bunch of shorts, and I had no idea what size I was going to be. And you have to understand, I've worked in film for years. Not only do I make clothing, but I've dressed actors. And so I shop for other people, other bodies. I'm familiar with every type of place to buy clothes you can imagine. I'm familiar with it. I've never once had any sort of panic or issues walking into a store and buying clothing. It's never been a problem for me, just because I do it all the time. I walked into Target and I just stood there. And my partner watched me have like an existential crisis, because I realized I've lost so much weight. I didn't know my bra size.
Yeah.
I didn't know what size shorts to wear. I didn't know. I ended up filling a cart of all different. I would get the same thing in 4 different sizes. And then add to that how dumb clothing is, because it's 16 could be the same as a 10 in a different brand.
Yep.
Which is ridiculous, people. Yeah.
I felt so bad. I went up to the girls at the fitting area. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be putting a lot of stuff back on the return pile. I want to apologize in advance. I just lost like 50 pounds. I have no idea what size I am. I have no idea what's going to fit me. I'm sorry in advance. And they were very nice about it. So
good.
That's so cool.
Good. Target's usually pretty good about that.
Yeah. And they were having a big sale, and I bought 12s.
Ooh.
I bought like 3 pairs of 12s, and I was like,
awesome.
Because that means not only am I in straight sizing, but I'm solidly in straight sizing, because like a 14 is straight sizing.
Yeah.
And a 12 is like in it,
Yes.
And I bought like a couple like medium shirts, and I bought like some stuff from the junior section. And
you're like, I haven't done that forever.
I know. I was like, I'm feeling spicy in here today. Like, let's go.
Yes.
So that was a huge non-scale victory for me. And then, walking up and down the stairs and walking up and down that long, steep driveway, I'm not winded anymore.
Perfect.
I can, and I have so much energy. I've always been the Energizer Bunny. And my partner, my husband, I joke because I'm the oldest in all of our relationships, and I'm older than my partner by 10 years. And I'm not that much older than my husband.
Okay.
But we joke that I keep trying to find younger partners to keep up with me, and I keep on dating old men. Like,
that's funny.
I've always been the Energizer Bunny, but now I'm like extra the Energizer Bunny. And my partners are just both like, oh my God, why?
So I'm guessing that means for all the things you're an Energizer Bunny then.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. She's like, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, that works.
So
yeah, that took me a second. Mm-hmm.
You already noticed the libido going up.
Oh my God, yes. Like, and it's more fun because I feel like I can do more, and I feel less self-conscious about my body, because I feel like I look closer to the way I want to look.
Yeah.
It's not even about my partners are both so amazing. They both have always made me feel so sexy at every size, like no matter what, like no issues with that ever. But I feel like I'm sexier to me. Yeah. And, when I look in the mirror, I like what I see more. And so the sex has gotten way fun. And like the stress from the move has definitely made it, like I could definitely see that if I didn't have all that stuff going on, it would have been better because I wouldn't have had all that stress from the move going on. But like even with that, it's 10 out of 10. Very good.
Yeah,
very much
10
enjoying
it.
That's what we like to hear.
I think that it's because I think when you aren't feeling good about yourself, like even though your partner can make you feel sexy, you yourself don't feel sexy, so you can't 100% get into, like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like you're like it, you like sex, you like being a part of it, but there's a voice in the back of your brain that's like, you don't feel sexy, be careful of how you look, like don't be on top because then he's just gonna see the triple chins, like.
Oh God, yeah.
You know, like, I feel like there's a running
on all fours.
Yeah.
Like my stomach, if my stomach would hit the bed, it would bring me out of it and make me feel, I'm like, oh my God, am I really that heavy? Like how must I look? Like how could he be attracted to me even though I know he is? And I would like spiral in my own head about it. Yeah. And that doesn't happen anymore, which is really nice.
Yeah, you can just like be yourself.
You're more confident. That's what Eric always says. He's like, you're just more confident. Like he's like, it was kind of cool to watch because I was very insecure. Like not like the lights didn't always have to be off, but it would just need to be like dimmed. And I never wore anything sexy whatsoever. Yeah, not at all. Yeah, not happening over here. And then like he was such a goofball because like he would walk by thinking this is sexy, guys. It's totally not. He would just like hit the bottom of my belly before surgery. Oh, I love your belly. He would just like do that. I'm like, no.
You're like, oh, you just made me feel very self-conscious. Thank you so much for that.
Right? Like in your head, you're like, oh fuck.
Oh, Eric. Oh, Eric.
And now it's like he's like full on nose, like, one, don't do that.
Yeah, don't any guys that are listening, or women that need to tell their husband that because that'll go on the list of things you never thought you had to say.
Exactly.
Don't touch my bottom belly. Don't touch the bottom of the belly. That's not sexy at all. Thank you.
The only time the rubbing of the belly ever worked for me was when I was pregnant.
Yes.
Like otherwise, that's a hard no. Yeah, absolutely not.
I can't describe to you
I feel a little bit better about that.
How many times when I was a photographer, I would have to tell guys, don't put your hands on her belly unless she's pregnant. Yeah.
Oh,
like I don't know what it is about it, but it's like guys just like automatically are like, and I'm like, is she pregnant? No, stop it. Don't put your hands there. Like around the top of the shoulders or like, you know, like that's different, but
the belly,
don't do it. Women are very self-conscious about their bellies for the most part. And so just don't touch that area.
Well, it just brings your like brain completely out of it. You're just like, oh, I was in it. And you know how long sometimes it takes to be like fully in it? You're like, motherfucker.
Nope.
Thanks for doing that in the middle.
Which I told Zach about that.
What?
About sometimes like you have to be fully focused in it, right?
Yeah.
Which you don't care if I talk about your sex life. So
no.
But like she's very like you have to be like focused, and if something throws you off, then it throws everything off.
Yeah.
And Zach's like, rhythm. Yeah, you don't know how that is. And I was like, no, I do not.
No,
I'm good.
I have to, it's a mental game for me too. Like I definitely have to be in it mentally. And something I do is, we have those like smart light bulbs in our bedrooms.
Okay.
And so like, if the lights are red, it's sexy time. And like putting that like combination together has really helped, because if the lights are red, my brain automatically starts to like, oh yeah, it's sexy time. Like, so I've started to associate the red with like the good feelings and the, you know, the closeness and everything. And so that helps.
I think I'm going to try that when I can have sex again.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a little while.
It's been 9 fucking weeks. Tomorrow will be 10, I think. Yeah. Never gone this long in my life.
Yeah.
Like, it is ridiculous. I know everybody's like, you can just do it yourself, blah, blah, blah. I've done that. No. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same as physical touch. Like, because one of my love languages is physical touch. So it's so fucking hard. I'm like, oh, when can we? And it's like, I don't want to hurt you. He doesn't want to hurt me.
You're getting there.
Yeah, we're going to talk to the doctor. I think it's next week.
Yeah.
Good.
Because you don't want to push
That's
it
awesome.
too much.
No. I told him, and I told Kelly this already, like, we're just gonna be like little teenagers again. Like, it's just gonna be like over the clothes, under the clothes. And now we're on top. Like, we're gonna do this slow work, but it's gonna happen.
Mel's like, God damn it, it will happen.
And that totally works. After the surgery, I was like, I actually messaged my team because I hadn't thought to ask it beforehand. I messaged my team very specifically. I'm like, okay, I need to know about sex. When can I have it? And like, also like, is masturbation okay? Or will the clenching of the muscles affect the way it heals? Like, is penetrative sex okay? Or should we just do like manual and oral? Like I was like specific because like I wanted to know what my guidelines were.
That's
And
definitely
she was like,
Mel's. Yes, she's loving it right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what did they tell you?
She said as long as it felt okay.
Okay.
Like if I was in too much pain to enjoy it, don't do it. But if it felt okay, I wasn't hurting anything.
Okay.
Nice.
So
cool.
Nice.
Good to know for everybody out there.
So
if
it's
you're
there you go.
just try it out.
Yeah.
And if it hurts, stop. That's always a good way.
Yeah. My problem is I don't want to, like, once I'm in it, like, we're just going. Like, I'm not going to stop. Like, yeah, there was one time we were having sex and Chloe like knocks on the door and Zach's like, go away. Like immediate. And I was like, yep, I'm not even stopping. Normally I'd be like, it's fine. We'll just stop. But no, we were like in it. And I was like, nope, I'm totally fine with this.
Oh yeah. We have had a conversation with Dylan while having sex because he wouldn't leave the front of the door. And we're just
no.
We can't stop right now. We are 20 minutes in. Like,
this is finishing for us.
The train has left the station.
Yeah.
We're not stopping.
Yes.
We're like, bro, just go watch your cartoons. Like, what are we doing? We'll be out soon.
Yeah. Zach was like, his dad voice was like on point. Go away. I was like, she got the
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're teenagers, so like they know. Like it's hard to keep it a secret. Like
seriously.
And Zach's like a very like vocal.
Yeah, he's
very touchy.
I think he's vulgar.
He can be vulgar sometimes.
Vulgar.
And I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
Like, but he's very like out there with it. And so it's like it's no secret that he finds me attractive. I find him attractive. Like we're very sexually compatible.
You are. Yeah.
So it's funny because the girls are now like getting to an age like where they know what we're doing. So
quite funny.
I think that's a very healthy thing to be raised with. Honestly, my parents were always very like, my parents still are very like lovey-dovey with each other. They were always like, they showed sexual affection, not like inappropriate affection, but they would show like, sexual romantic affection to each other around me. And they would, it was clear they had a sexual relationship and that it was happy and healthy. And and that framed my understanding of sexual relationships and relationships in general. And that was very helpful. So I think it's good.
I think it is too, because my parents weren't at all.
No.
And Eric's parents weren't either. And we both said, like, we're not doing that in front of Dylan. Like, we give hugs and kisses, we hold hands, like we do the things.
Yeah, because you want them to understand that, because like I know that I didn't see a fully healthy sexual lovey-dovey relationship growing up. So when I was with my ex, I didn't see anything wrong with not having that until I was out of it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's not fucking normal. Like it's like, it's not normal to like not feel attracted to your other half. Like you should, like we held hands and we kissed in public, but it wasn't like it is now.
No.
Like Zach is very, like he's brought me out of my shell a little bit of like, oh, it's completely normal if he like grabs me and like is passionate, like not passionately, but like a
full on kiss.
And the girls like Chloe will be like, guys, please stop. Like, so it's like, but she's seeing that like it's okay if your adults that are around you feel attracted towards each other. It's a good thing.
It's important.
Yes.
Very, very important.
So
anyways, back off of that.
Yes, that was like a whole tangent. Wow.
I love it.
Listen, it's always fun to talk about sex.
I know.
Well, normally people get a little
put off
squeamish. Or not squeamish. Like it's just private. I think people are more private.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have a conversation about sex because we have conversations all the time. But like not recorded.
Not recorded.
That's fair. I think it's important to normalize it. I think it's important
Yeah.
to normalize, especially, yeah, I'm non-binary, but like politically in a lot of ways, I'm a woman. I appear as a woman. So like, I kind of refer to myself that way sometimes when I'm talking about like societal issues.
Okay.
Women's pleasure
Yes.
isn't normalized enough.
No.
And
No, it is
so
not.
I think that it's important to have these conversations and normalize talking about it and normalize
Yeah.
seeking it and
Yes.
the tips and tricks you can use to get pleasure or get yourself to the point where you can get pleasure.
Yeah. What was that
is
that
important.
show that we watched on Netflix?
Oh, the
Principles of Pleasure.
Principles of an Orgasm, I think.
Might have been Principles
that
of
sounds
Pleasure.
cool.
Yeah, like it was really cool.
Very interesting. We actually
I learned
watched,
a lot.
Yeah, we were in Dallas,
Yeah.
and we had stayed at this hotel room, and the TV
It would not connect.
it wouldn't connect. So we just had like the tablet playing, and like we're both in our own beds, and we're like watching, this how to orgasm, and like I was just like, oh, this isn't awkward. No.
Well, it was great though, because you're like, oh, I didn't know we could do that. I didn't know
Yeah.
that worked that way. Like,
Yeah.
there's choice for everybody. They're like, hey, guess what? Just because the first one doesn't work doesn't mean that's not how
Mhm.
it's gonna be for everyone.
Exactly.
You're like, oh,
Yep.
It was just really eye-opening because like we both come from a very sheltered like sexual situation
Yes.
where like no one talked about it.
No.
It was just like, hey, don't do that. So
Yeah.
that was it. Like,
Yeah.
don't have sex so you don't get pregnant. That was
Uh-huh.
literally the conversation
Yep.
that we had.
Yep.
So we don't know shit. So
No.
Oh, that's fair.
Well,
Yeah.
still learning.
Even if when you are in like school and they do the sex ed, like it's like boys have penises, girls have vaginas. Okay, break. Like,
yeah,
that's all
it.
we learned. Like there's nothing that like what did we learn that
we just learned about like STDs. It was always like the
yeah,
health part
it was
of
like the bad
yeah.
section of it.
Yeah.
Instead of being like maybe later on in high school, you have a conversation with the female students of like, this is how your vagina works. Like,
yes,
I would
Imagine that.
right?
that would be
Instead
We'd
of
have
just
less
like,
babies.
here's some condoms. Have at it.
yeah.
Like-
They've literally proven the more education that a woman has, the less babies they have.
Yes.
Like it actually goes 1-to-1. So it's like just get information to these ladies early. Like why are we waiting so late?
Well, and kids are having sex earlier and earlier
Mhm.
because like around our age, like it was like 16 was early.
Yeah.
And now it's like there's kids in like 8th grade that are
Like
having sex.
13, you're
Which
like,
is
what?
wild to me.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
understand
'cause we
it.
never thought about
Nope.
it at that age.
No.
Like, to be honest,
No.
like, that's
No,
how
me
much I
neither.
was not
No.
in it. It was like, oh, I
No.
just want to go hang out with Kelly and like go to the mall. And
Yeah, and we were awkward as fuck. Like, who's gonna have sex with
us.
us? Like, I think back to like the Pink Panther shirt I wore. Like,
right? It's like,
And
who
like,
wants to do
Tiki,
that?
Sean held hands with me. Like,
exactly.
That's where
like,
I
we
was
held
at that
hands
age.
in the hallway. Like, that was a
Yeah.
big deal.
Mhm.
Not like Chloe was telling me something about like there was kids having sex like in the gym or something like that.
oh my
Like,
God.
what the hell is going on right
Yeah.
now? Like, you are 13. She's not doing it at all.
Right.
But which she'll probably kill me if I ever say that, if she ever finds out I said that. But yeah, it's like there's kids that are 13 and they're out there having sex, and I guarantee you they have no fucking clue what they're doing.
No.
So then that's how accidental pregnancies happen.
Yep.
And then you're in this cycle of
Well, and I know that we're going way too long probably on sex talk, but the deal for me is that like your parents need to tell you whether you're really like the family's fertile or not.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's a huge factor. Because I literally got pregnant with Dylan the first time I didn't use a condom. It was the first time.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like, oh, me and Eric were just having sex and then like, oh, just like a month down the road. It was literally the first time we never had used a condom. So it's like, hey, you need to talk to your kids and go, hey, our family's pretty fertile. Like you just
Yeah.
need to know
Yeah.
this could happen like quickly.
Yeah. Well, and I
So-
also believe like if your kids, you should make your kids feel comfortable enough to come to you and be like, hey, I'm gonna have sex. Whether it's
Yeah.
too early or not. Like,
Hold on. You heard that, right?
yeah.
Okay. We're
Okay. We heard
sorry.
something.
I was
drop.
like, did Eric's walker fall? What is going on?
Yeah. because he's right above us. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's important. Absolutely.
Yes.
Right? I'm like, there was no screaming, there was no yelling.
yeah.
We should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you should let your kids feel comfortable enough to come to you, whether it is too soon or not for them to have sex,
Yeah.
but to be like, this might be a possibility. I want to get on birth control.
Yeah. And that's why we need to talk about more with bariatrics, because your hormones change.
And you get
Oh,
pregnant
yeah.
very
And
easily.
it can be really easy for you to get
Yes.
pregnant. So it's like, we need to talk about this stuff because you just don't know. Your chemistry of your
Yeah.
body is changing
Yep.
rapidly. So that's why, like, too, when you're in your third month, like you are, you could have a stall next month and it's okay.
Yes.
It's just because the chemistry is changing rapidly.
Yep. And it's not a straight down line.
Yeah.
It's put down.
Roller coaster.
Yeah.
And then they don't tell you too about the hormones making you like feel like emotionally like I had some emotional surges, especially in that first couple of months, that I just were hard to get a handle on. And like I think I posted actually in the Benchies group about it, and other people were like, yes, it's the hormones, you're good, you're normal. I think one of you guys even weighed in, was like, you're normal, it's fine. But I was like, I'm like crying and angry and everything, and it's so much going on with your body at once. And I see I'm in some of those crazy Facebook support groups because
we all are.
Yeah. Sometimes just like to see, and sometimes when there's a lot of people, you can just get like, I like to poll. So like I wanted to know what people's energy levels were, because I was planning on moving 4 weeks out.
Yeah.
I wanted to know if I was really, really screwing myself or not. And I'm like, generally on aggregate, like, what were your energy levels this far out? And I kind of like took an average of all the responses I got, and it actually gave me a very good idea of kind of what I was supposed to be looking for.
Good.
You know, so
Oh,
that kind of, it's useful for that. But like,
Yeah.
I see really bad advice all the time. Sometimes I screenshot it and send it to Helen.
Oh yeah. We screenshot it and send it to each other. We're like,
us. I
we
want
need
to
to talk about this one,
Okay, I'll
because
definitely,
this is,
I'll add y'all to
not
the
right.
chain.
Yeah. Because it's really important for people to know, like, hey, this isn't okay. Like,
Exactly. Yeah, I actually saw the Guackward Dietitian post today, and she was talking about, like, literally posted the comment that somebody was like, you shouldn't be eating bananas.
Yeah,
And and she's like, and she's like, I'm gonna eat a banana if I choose to eat a banana. And she's like, you know, granted, this person probably didn't mean it in a mean way. They were probably just trying to be helpful. But those are the comments that get people confused, that you aren't allowed to have fruit.
it is very
And it's like, oh, you're allowed to have fruit. Like, it's actually encouraged that you have fruit because it's a good replacement of crap.
yeah,
food.
it's nature's sugar. Like, just
Yeah.
it's fine.
Like, I can't tell you, for at least 2 years after surgery, I was having cut up strawberries and whipped cream in a bowl every single night.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I lost
That sounds great.
5 pounds. Oh, it was like kind of like strawberry ice cream
Yeah,
a little bit.
Ooh.
A little whipped. So not the container. It was like the spray whipped cream.
gotcha.
And I would just put some in the bottom, throw the strawberries in the between, and then put more on the top, and then it was like a strawberry ice cream.
I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it was really,
that sounds good.
and it was really easy, and so it was something that I could have a small amount of, but I still felt like I was like getting that sugary thing at the end of the meal.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
So
That makes complete
One of my favorite little treats is actually Greek yogurt, like
Okay.
2% Greek yogurt with like 4-ish cut up strawberries, depending on the size. Like, and I dice them. So they're like little bits, and then I chop up like, I don't know, like a 1/4 of an ounce of super dark chocolate, and I sprinkle that over it, and it's so good. And it gives you that feeling like you're having a dessert. You have chocolate, you have strawberries, and it's really decadent, but it's really good for you. Like the macros on it are excellent. So
That's
awesome.
yeah, good to know.
it's really yummy.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm always, oh man, I picked up my leg and now I'm bleeding.
No.
I don't even know where I got scratched at. Anyways,
You're
so
such
what
a
are you looking forward to, like, heading, like, because you're going into, like, your next check-in with us will be 6 months. So
Yeah.
what are you looking forward to in that as you get to 6 months?
Well, I've been lifting weights the last maybe month, and so one of the things I've always wanted to have a slightly more androgynous body. I love like the look of like the kind of female boxers with like a built out upper body, and I never thought I could get there just because of how I was genetically, and also just everything was always such a struggle to lose weight, and I had a lot of pressure, especially being an actor, and from family to be very feminine.
Okay.
And this whole process has been very liberating for me because I've realized that who I am and what I look like, it doesn't matter to anybody but me. Like, I'm the only one I have to please.
Yeah.
And my husband's bisexual, so he's totally chill with if I look a little bit more like more in the middle, more androgynous. He's like, that's fine. I'm attracted to you no matter what. So, yeah, it's really wonderful. He's the best. But so when cause I was really nervous when I first wanted to cut my hair and everything, I used to have like waist length hair. Like, I used to be the femmest femme you've ever seen, because that's what I was told I always had to be.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like, I was always pushed into that. And so part of this, you know, I've always wanted smaller boobs, but you know, surgery was always too extreme. You know, my family is kind of anti-doctor, anti-medicine. And so like there's a lot of fear there about surgery too. There's like a lot, I was raised with a lot of that, and I've had to do a lot of unlearning about all of that. But now that I've done one major surgery, it kind of breaks the seal, and you're like, oh, that's not that bad. I mean, it's, you know, it's always scary. There's always risks. You always have to judge. Like, I'm not like saying it's like popcorn, like, but you know, so I'm excited to start getting my body to where I've always wanted it to be for me. So I'm excited to start, like, I've already seen some muscle definition changes.
I can see it.
To see more of
Oh,
that.
your arms are gnarly.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I can see it. Like, especially when you sit like this, I can see like that you're starting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yay, that made me so happy. Other people noticing. But so yeah, so I really want to get more of that going. I want to one of my goals is to be in single digit clothing sizes. It's just always been like a thing for me. Like, I would love to be in an 8. I was in a 6 in high school. I don't have to be in a 6. That's crazy. But like, I would love to be in an 8. That'd be really cool. Or even like a 10 right on that verge, but an 8 would be nice. But I'm just looking forward to like getting stronger and continue to get more comfortable in my body. You know, I'm looking forward now to changing my body in a way that suits me. I'm looking forward to when it is time for me to do the skin removal surgeries and being able to actually shape myself the way I want to, which is which is not something I ever thought that. So a lot of transgender people do body modification surgeries, but because I'm not binary transgender, I'm not like a woman going to a man or a man going to a woman. I never thought I was enough to deserve those surgeries, or like to warrant those surgeries. But now that I've gone through this, I didn't realize how much gender dysphoria I was sitting with until I actually started to change it, until I actually started to get into a place where I could be what I always wanted to be. And this process, I didn't go into this surgery looking for that. You know, I went into this surgery looking to get rid of the chronic pain, which is the only thing I was doing, you know. And it wasn't until I was in this process that I realized how incredible it was going to be for my gender situation as well. And it is one of the things that I want to start posting about more on my Instagram and want to start talking about more publicly, because I don't think there's a lot of trans people out there who, especially like female to male transgender people, have a lot of trouble if they're overweight, getting top surgery. Some surgeons won't do it if you're over a certain BMI. And I don't think that a lot of people know that bariatric surgery is an option to get where you want to be. Like, if your idea of yourself and your gender is a certain thing, you can get this bariatric surgery to get you moving in the right direction. Like,
it's like a foot in the door.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want to be on hormones. That's not like a for me thing. That's not what I want. Some non-binary people do. That's just not for me. But even just this process of losing the weight and starting to gain muscle has been so transformative for me emotionally. And I didn't even realize that it would be until I was in the process. It's been such a gift. It's really been, I've gotten very emotional about it with my partner a few times because I just didn't expect it. I didn't expect to feel so good about myself in a way that I never thought I could. And so I'm looking forward to just more. Like, I'm looking forward to just continuing that and kind of seeing where it takes me, you know.
I'm excited to see.
I can't wait to see.
I know, because
that's changes.
That's the biggest thing we talk about is like, this surgery makes you figure out who you are.
Yes.
So it makes sense why you're feeling the feelings that you're going through, because you finally get to pick who are you? Who is Kia? You know, what does that represent? And it gets to be whatever you want it to fucking be.
Yeah.
That's what's really cool.
Yeah. You don't just have to be there because that's where you landed. Like you really start to make those changes mentally and physically as you're going through it. And I think it's good that you're like in tune with yourself so that you're picking up on those things, because some people can't.
No, it's hard for people.
I'm not pointing fingers
at yourself.
At all.
I feel lucky that I did a lot of therapy before this.
Yeah.
So
I should have done more right after surgery.
Yes.
That's what I think that needs to be more of is you do need some before, but you also need a lot after, because you're going through these changes. And you know, I've been saying it for a while, trauma still happens even after you have surgery. And when your habits are eating, you tend to go back to that because it's easy, it's what you know, and it's really hard to get back out of it.
Well, and like I'm prime example, if it wasn't for me setting the tone in the first 2 years of my behaviors, then what happened like 2 months ago, and I'm 7 years out, I would have been fucked. I would have been eating every fucking night, and it would have been curly fries, it would have been rice, it would have been pork chops, it would have been all the staples that I thought that would make me feel good. And the fact that I built this full foundation the first 2 years, that's why we say the first 2 years are they're so important. Because it can save you in the long run. Because like if I didn't have those tools in my toolbox, then we don't know where I would have been right now. We have no idea.
No, I think you would have been fine.
Yeah.
You've got a very strong like mindset.
It's true.
And I don't think you would have gone there because
I would have failed myself if I would have gone there.
Correct.
Correct. In my head, I'm like, you don't fail. So why are we?
That's fair.
Yeah. And I'm very easily of like, if nobody could see me, it's not really so.
And for me, I'm like, I'm doing this to myself. I can't.
Yeah. And I'm just like,
I found it very actually helpful to have the structure of the bariatric eating like plan, and how having to have this much protein, and having to like, you know, not, you know, and actually I find that having to wait 30 minutes to drink water, and then I personally have to get like 100 ounces of fluid with electrolytes in it. I don't know if it's a malabsorptive thing because of my bypass. I don't know if it's so hot here and I've been working out. I don't know. We will see throughout the year, but I have to get a lot of fluids in or else I get leg cramps at night. So I really have to be on top of that. And I found like I had, I mean, not a similar situation in any way, shape, or form to you, Mel, but I had a similar emotionally hard thing. I lost my dog suddenly. He was like my dog too, you know, like I had him since he was a puppy, and I knew he was getting older, but like he took a turn for the worse all of a sudden, and we had just moved, and you know, that's a lot of stress all at once. And
that's a lot.
And I really felt out of control of a lot of things because we had a lot of stuff going on with the house. We found out that the people who owned it before us just hadn't been doing a lot of maintenance, like things like the water filters for the well haven't been changed in like 10 years. And like just all sorts, if you can imagine things that haven't been maintained, it hasn't been. So we're dealing with that. But so it's just, everything feels very out of control. I've had a lot of emergencies come up, a lot of things that have thrown my everything sideways. But because I have these set patterns I have to follow, or else I won't get enough protein, so I won't be able to build muscle that I want to. I won't be able to, you know, get all the water in, so I'll get, you know, cramps at night. You know, if I don't do these things, I will suffer. And having that structure to fall back on has made me feel more empowered, weirdly. Like
it's almost comforting.
And I found that when I lost my dog, I was like, oh, I go the other way. When I'm super emotionally devastated, I don't eat, like, period. Like I won't eat for like days, but I, you know, went back to protein shakes for a while because that's just what I could do. But I got all my protein in, and I got my water in, and because I had this structure, and I just kept the structure, and it was so comforting and helpful to have that to lean back on. I surprised myself because I've never had that. And I always feel out of control, and then that's when I have like a pint of Ben and Jerry's a night, you know. You know, it just is because you haven't eaten anything all day, and nothing else sounds good, and that's easy. I don't have to do any work to fix it. You know, so
and then you feel good.
You get that dopamine hit. Although I have to tell you, when we were camping, we were getting, we wanted like ice cream or something for on the boat when we were watching the fireworks, which I was like, it's fine, I can have some ice cream. So I ended up buying the same ice cream I used to eat a tub of.
Oh.
So it was the Ben and Jerry's with the cookie crumble on top, or no, it's the cookie core. And then I would put like Chips Ahoy cookies in it and stuff like before.
Even more.
And so I was like, well, you know, me and Zach can share, Chloe can have some, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I had 3 bites of it and I was like, how did I eat a whole thing of this?
Mhm.
Like, it was very like,
Yep, eye open. You're like, what the fuck was I doing?
yeah. And I'm like, no wonder I was as fat as I was, because I ate this every day.
Yeah, you're like, that's not a question anymore.
Yeah. But literally it's in the freezer and I haven't touched it.
Nice.
Like at all. It's been sitting there since we got back.
It sounds like a turn off now. You're like,
it was almost like a turn off.
Yeah.
Like I was just like,
That's awesome.
And we were in such
Yeah.
denial at the time.
I
Yeah,
was.
Like,
I
at least I
100%
was.
denial. Yeah. Oh, I was.
I was in denial over how big I was. Like, I see
Yep.
pictures of myself now and I'm like, holy shit.
Yep.
Really? Like, I was in denial about how much I was eating and how bad it was. All of it.
Yep.
Like,
I
I
was
didn't
too.
think I was that bad. And
Yeah.
now I look back and my body feels so much better.
Yeah.
One of the things I posted in the Benchies, it was like, does anybody else feel this like sense of just like, well, like, you know, that feeling you get after a really good workout or like really good sex or a really good sleep, where you just feel like your body just feels loose and languid and you just feel
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
feel like that, like, so much of the time now. And
Yay.
and I mean, I had with the GERD, it was constant pain. So
Yeah.
I almost never felt like that. Like, those
Yeah.
were beautiful little moments. And now it's like,
Yeah.
I just feel good a lot of the time. And when I make a poor dietary decision, I can feel it. You know, I don't
Yep.
feel good.
You sound like
So-
Mel with that.
Mhm.
Like, I think you guys are the same in that
Yes.
aspect, because I don't have that. Oh, I do, but I choose to ignore it because
That's
I'm
the deal, is that you
Yeah.
you are hyper aware. You literally choose to.
oh yeah.
You ignore and avoid.
I
Like,
do
nobody's
not
business.
like to think about those things. Not at all. We're just gonna
See, in my
not
head,
think about that.
I think the reason why I do that is because I don't want to think about it later. So I'm like, I just want to get it fucking over with. So I just process it. Because I'm like, I don't want to, I'm like, I don't want to fucking deal with that next week. So let's fucking roll. Let's go. Let's
Oh,
get this
yeah,
shit
no.
done, man.
No.
Yeah.
No, we just throw
Like-
that in the corner for later, because that's not gonna be
It's funny
processed.
because that's how I work. That's how all my work is done, and for my own mental state. It's like, just get it over with.
But I also think you don't have ADHD or any like symptom like markers at
Yeah,
all to make you
no.
think of that. So like
Mm-mm.
you're very able to like compartmentalize and process like as you need to do things.
Yep.
And I don't know if you're like this, Kia, but I'm like, there's a shiny thing over here, and there's a shiny
Oh, yeah.
thing over here, and I'm gonna go and do this
Absolutely.
back here, and then I'm gonna we're not gonna process you, so we're gonna stick you over there. And, I mean, cleaning my house, it's fun. Like
I do
if
have
somebody
that with cleaning. I do have that with cleaning. That's it though.
if somebody videoed me.
You're in all the different rooms.
Oh,
right?
I am in every
I did the same
room
thing.
doing every single thing,
Yeah.
but nothing actually gets finished. And then you realize that you've been cleaning for 4 hours and nothing's actually done. So there's that. It's
Oh,
fun
because you've just been
little
going
aspect.
from task to task and not
Oh,
actually
yeah.
finishing anything. Because finishing
Oh,
is
yeah.
the hard part. That's the,
Oh,
the
yeah.
stuff that you didn't want to deal with. 'Cause that's the stuff you put off to last.
Exactly.
100%.
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
No, I finish. It just
I bet you do.
I always finish. I'm a finisher all the time.
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I am in that. I am not in my regular life. I am not a finisher. I'm like, I will get 90% done, and then I just leave the rest of it.
I believe that.
Yeah.
That's how I live my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
My whole household is ADHD. So
Oh. I bet that's fun.
So
it's like a
Anything to
constant battle against entropy. Like, we do get things done, usually on a deadline or under stress, or like when some sort of adrenaline is happening, or when I have a mental breakdown because the house is too bad and I freak out,
Yep.
and then everybody kicks into gear and gets it going. Because they can both live in a pit. They're happy
yeah.
with that.
Yeah,
I
know.
can't. Like, a lot of mental clutter, a lot of physical clutter makes my ADHD worse, and I will get
Oh.
very anxious about it. And so I really, which is bad because I always have clutter because I'm ADHD. So it's a constant fight to keep my space somewhat palatable to myself. And yeah, so it's I feel you deeply. It's tough.
Oh, I'm glad somebody understands
Oh
me.
my God, I love you too. You guys are great. All right. Well,
All right.
I think that's a good way to end.
That's fantastic. And we are super excited because we will have you back on for your 6-month check-in.
Yay!
So
I'm so
everybody will get
excited.
to hear about what you're doing in 6 months or 3 months. 3 months.
In 3 months.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to be excited to see where you've gone because
Yes.
I have a feeling you'll get to that 8. I have a feeling you're going to get there. I feel like your arms are going to be massive.
Yeah.
And we're going to be rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
So
I
it's gonna
see
be
it
so
too.
much fun.
Yeah.
Right?
You have the drive.
She does.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
And
for
if you want to see her big guns, just go over to YouTube,
Yes.
subscribe, and watch this video because she does have some big guns on her.
Yes. Yes. You do. You really do. I see the muscles and I'm like, ooh, I need to be there.
The definition is beautiful.
It is getting there.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much for being on, Kia. And yeah, we're looking forward to your 6-month check-in.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. This was so
Yeah.
fun.
Yes, thank you. All right, and we'll have all of her information linked below, so you will be able to find her on Instagram and say hi. And yeah, it'll be all the information is below. So
That's
just
right.
just know that
Yay.
all of it is below. And don't forget to go over to our website. Check out the merch, check out the award show, get your tickets while you're there. Go to patreon.com/OSLP and sign up to be a patron, just like Miss Kia is, and be a Benchy.
Be a Benchy, and then you get to know lots more before everybody else does.
Yes, because a lot of information comes out there
That's right.
that we can't share out here.
That's exactly.
Yes. All right. We love you guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.